Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. How's everyone doing out there in this choppy market? Now, even though last week was OPEX week, I hope everyone stays safe. Today seems to be the chop day after OPEX. Hey, so anyways, let's get right into it. Not gonna have any delay. Actually, before I get into it, first thing I just want to quickly mention 250 subs coming up real close here. So we're going to have a contest going as soon as that is hit. Thank you everyone for your support. Now, second thing to mention, just for all those of you, this is not a sponsored ad or anything. Just want to let you guys, my dedicated viewers, know that Black Friday sale on TradingView is on right now, and it is to my knowledge, it is the best sale of the year. So for those of you that are interested on upgrading on TradingView, right now would be the time to do it. Now, one thing to note is if you are in the TradingView original main site, you will see that if you exit here and you look over here and then extend, you will actually get the price of $299.40. But what you want to do is on that main website, you want to be clicking the explore offers. Then it'll take you to that actual 50%, 60% off with one additional month. Okay. Now, again, this is not a sponsored ad or anything. Just want to let you guys know that this is, again, to my knowledge, the best deal of the year. Personally, I will be looking to add another 13 months onto my personal subscription. So figured I would pass the message on to you guys. All right, let's get into it. First one, SPX. What are we looking at here? Extension target, potential extension target, just wicking right under it. And this is now to me personally, a significant bear flag, a significant red flag. In the sense that we're looking at an increased potential now of that daily bear divergence. Oh, I hate Microsoft not memorizing my things. Give me one sec, guys. All right, so what is that trading tool? There we go. So this is the bear divergence that we had talked about ever since that Tuesday video from the red flag. Can't remember, is it last Tuesday or the Tuesday before? The Tuesday before the video. Anyways, the last video that said red flag video. Anyways, so this is the bearish divergence that we had talked about for weeks now. And tomorrow, going into day after, we should be able to see whether that's going to confirm or that if it's going to get negated. Now, first sign we're going to be looking at, actually, let's get into the shorter time frames first. First things first, 30 minutes bearish trend now. So trend has reversed to bearish on the 30 minute. Next is the hourly. Hourly looks sort of chopped for now. Higher high, lower low. So we're going to have to see whether it's going to be a lower high that's going to be forming or whether if we're going to the dip is going to be bought. 4 hours. 4 hours remain bullish. Lower low, higher high, higher low. Oh, sorry. Yeah, lower low, higher high, higher low. So 4 hour trend remains bullish. And on the 8 hours, that is where the significant red flag we are talking about. One of them. Last one dipped down under, closing under that 8 hour 8. And then immediately bought up, closing right on the 8 hour 8 with follow through. And then following that, we are seeing new high, but no follow through with huge sell off towards the end of the day. Look at this candlestick. Man, thought about playing spy puts, but wanted to go a little bit longer dated and then just ended up, you know what, not worth it. We're already in other bear plays and this is paying us already. So remember, 8 hour 8, we are closing under it and we're going to have to see whether there's going to be follow through on these next two candlesticks, meaning tomorrow, going into tomorrow. And that confirms also on the daily candle. We'll be confirming whether if we're going to be seeing bearish action going forward, which will confirm that daily bearish divergence. Now this could potentially be the bearish action that we have talked about for quite some time. Now let's see where it's going to take us. So drawing from the low, we're not going to use the GP bounce. Okay, we're going to be using the low because ultimately that is that daily lower low to draw from. So if that is the daily lower low, it's a little bit more out of whack now. I liked it before where this was marking the top because that 0.382 will line up with the previous all-time high resistance. Now, regardless, if that is the case, let's see if 0.5 lines up with anything. That's a bit far out. We'll be looking at the 0.382 first anyways. So if tomorrow were to confirm, that 8-hour 8 were to confirm with bearish follow through, losing this key trend line, I will be looking at the previous all-time high zone, 45.50 back test. We'll be looking around that area. 0.382 is just above it. So keep that in mind. Tomorrow is going to be very key. Next is NAS. NAS, very strong. If we were to reject and follow through tomorrow, this is going to be a very strong bearish divergence. Same idea as SPX. Nothing special to cover about it. Next is RUS. We have seen bearish action on there already today as well as Friday. We bounced from that GP, but now we're seeing a rejection again from that 88. So RUS is remaining a little bit weak. As for we're looking for that first entry, second entry. If you're not in already, first entry would be around that GP lining up with this lower trend line. So that's for you there. And next is Dow. Hovering around that previous all-time high. I'm going to mark this area right now. Right here, 35,635. We can see there's some support going on here. Previously, we also saw resistances. Came back, immediate back test around that previous all-time high zone. We can probably turn some of these into zones, but we'll look at it later. So that's Dow. Now let's look at the leading indicators. US dollars is breaking bulls. US 10-year is still chopping around. VIX is just about to break bull over the long-term wedge. So there's double wedge. Remember, there is a long-term skinnier wedge alongside this fatter, shorter time frame wedge that we're looking at. And we are just about breaking bull on VIX. So that is a cause for concern. Gold, we did back test. I'm just trying to find a area of support resistance. Yeah, so you could call right here from back here. Alongside here is going to be an area of support resistance. We see support here. Nothing too much over here. Chopped around. I don't really like it, to be honest. Some resistance is over here. Some resistance over here. I would probably draw a little bit higher. Let's see. Yeah, this one makes sense. So resistance over here, support, support. Resistance became resistance again, and then support right. You can see that wick right there too. So very notable. Lots of resistances, lots of resistances, lots of wicks on it as well. And then resistance again. Now we lost it ever so slightly. We're gonna have to see tomorrow if we get a bounce on gold. So that daily bull flag was lost yesterday with the close 19th. Last Friday with a close under that 88, and then today we saw follow through to the bearish side. Gold not really causing a real concern for the market, and I am seeing a long-term trend line here. Yeah, so resistance, another rejection, another perfect rejection, and chopping around a slight close over, immediately got shut down. So gold, that is going to be the key trend line to break over. Then Bitcoin, did we bear break yet, or is it double bottom still? 55,600, 55,610. So we are double bottom as of right now. we are rejecting from that 88 as well. Gonna have to see which direction Bitcoin wants to go based on that strong daily bear divergence. I would anticipate further downside to come, at the very least a back test of this long-term trend line. Yeah, I would call this the money line. Let's see if it lines up with any fibs here. So this is an old one. It might line up GP. But if it's GP, that means we're going to have to see a very strong bearish pressure over the next few days in order to touch that. All right, so that's Bitcoin. And let's take a quick look at HIVE. Been a while since we taken a look at it. Potential head and shoulders pattern forming here. Left shoulder, head. I'm gonna have to see what this right shoulder looks like. This could be the right shoulder, but I want to see a little bit more clear of a right shoulder coming back up. Neckline to break would be right here. So overall, looking a little bit bearish on HIVE. And that's it for the market. Let's take a look at the hottest tickers. First one is going to be Tesla. Breaking straight over that GP. Strong bounce so far. Double bottom. Bounce follow through. Spinning candlestick. So indecision today. In my opinion, tomorrow, if we were to see bearish pressure, now that this might need the market to work with it, but we all know how Tesla can be. Tesla doesn't really need the market to work with it. If it wants to go bullish, it will go bullish. So in that sense, tomorrow, we could very well see an inside buy. Right now is very much an indecision. Ultimately, the chart is still strong. We broke over that GP. Still serving as key resistance. This extension target still serving as key resistance. What is this? 1.272 from all the way back here. This low to the higher low. Okay, so that is still serving as a key resistance. And next one is Apple. Strong chart, and now we're seeing a potential reversal candle with a shooting start on the daily with volume. Huge bull move. We sold our trade today. Congrats, Darren, to the over 100% trade. One of your first ones with our trading chat group. Congrats. And this is a potential reversal. We are extended from the daily with volume tomorrow. I would anticipate ultimately lower prices to come. At the very minimum, we're looking at a back test of the previous all-time high, 157.26 area. Chart remains strong. We are in the blue sky all-time high zone. There is no resistances. What is this? 1.272 extension target again with the low to the higher low. The last higher low at the 0.382. So the extension is strong. We might actually change this to, what does 1-to-1 look like? Okay. It might be a 1-to-1 extension because it just overshot it. Regardless, today is a reversal candle with tomorrow's confirmation. We should see lower prices to come. Apple, amazing trade so far. Let the dust settle a little bit first before our re-entry. Ultimately, we'll be looking at re-entry on Apple. Next one is Tsm Taiwan Semiconductor. Amazing. What a huge upper wick though. Very clear break. Regardless of which trend line you use, this is a very clear break. Nice volume, but that huge upper wick is not what you want to see on this kind of break. So it's a little bit of a red flag. Already chopping around. Higher high, higher low. And looks like we formed a lower high with the potential of coming down to form a lower low into that hourly trend reversal now. There is no bearish divergence on the hourly either. No bearish divergence on 30 minutes. So I would say that overall the chart has no real concern yet. What we could be seeing ultimately is an immediate back test of this trend line, one of these two trend lines, before another leg up. Bear volume at the end of the day is not looking great, but that could be just the cause for from the market bearishness. Regardless, looks like one of those tickers that is gonna need the market to cooperate in order for this to continue bullish. Let's mark that all-time high zone. So we'll be looking at 139.23 to 142.20 on the new all-time high. I like the chart. As of right now, I would probably use the 4-hour you can see on the pullbacks, even the 4-hour it chops around quite a bit. So what does it look like on the daily? Even the daily is still chops around. It's not exactly an easy chart to trade from the looks of it. So what I would probably do is give it to the 4-hour minus 2% as a stop. But I want to see what the reaction looks like at this previous trend line first. I want to see bullish action, to be honest, on TSM, even though I'm not in the trade. But the chart looks good. I like it. Now, on that topic, the big concern in that semi space is not TSM. TSM is a laggard play. The big concern that I am seeing is AMD and NVDA more so. While we're on the topic, we might just cover the other two as well. So AMD is looking at like a very strong daily bearish divergence with that bearish engulfing candlestick today, increasing bear volume. At least, if anything, sustained bear volume. And the daily 8 is going to be the guide. We can see all the way on the way up. Support, never lost it. Almost touched all this way. So once that daily 8 is lost on AMD, that would be the real cause for concern. And let's take a look at NVDA as well. Very similar chart, huge, strong daily bear divergence with a bearish engulfing candlestick. Would anticipate lower prices to come on NVIDIA. So currently, right, I am in a SOXS trade. Let's see how that works out. This is very strong bearish divergence. I would anticipate at the very least a daily higher low to come on NVIDIA, SOXL, AMD, just the whole space wise. So it might be too bad, you know, too bad for TSM. It might be a lagger play, but as the sector pulls back, it might affect this breakout play here. Just be aware of that. Volume looks good. The ticker itself has no real cause for concern, but ideally if you're in, you do not want to see a overthrow and then come straight back down below that upper trend line. All right, next one is GME. Really like the ticker. No idea. Actually, oh yeah. So we were in this trade up until, I can't remember, it's Thursday or Friday, one of those 2 days, all the way from the bottom here. And the reason why we exited is there's no real concern for the chart itself, increasing bull volume over the last 2 days as well. But the concern that faked me out was actually the earnings. So I'm hearing the earnings is not tomorrow. So let's see what happens on GME tomorrow. But based on TradingView as well as investing.com, I haven't really taken too much of a deep dive into it, but based on both of them, the earnings is supposed to be tomorrow. Huge bull volume coming in. Nice daily hold of the GP and continuation. New high close after this long-term wedge bull break. Should see higher prices to come. I would anticipate, you know, there is a lack of resistance all the way up until 320-ish. Very nice chart. Keep it on my top watch. That's it for the hottest stickers. Let's get into the requested tickers next. So NVIDIA we already covered, TSM we already covered. Next one is MRK. Very interesting. In head and shoulders pattern. Not exactly too clear of a head shoulders pattern. Gap up, gap down. It's somewhere there. But depending on how you look at it, if this is a head and shoulders pattern, this is the neckline that we broke bear under on Friday, and we're not seeing follow through today. You're gonna have to give it another couple of days. We are a little bit, very slightly extended on that daily, and maybe that's why we're causing this bounce today. But ultimately, it is an inside bar day with low bull volume. It's gonna have to give it another couple more days to see if there's follow through on this head and shoulders pattern. Very slight daily bear divergence. Would not really be playing it out of a bullish perspective for now. I want to give a couple of days to see what happens first. Next one is Russ, we already gone over. Next one is TDC, Teradata Corporation. Have not taken a look at it. I want to see what the monthly chart looks like first. Okay, so monthly trend reversal. Weekly trend reversal. Potentially reversing back to the bearish now, actually. So weekly higher high, lower low, higher high, higher low. So now it's a bullish trend, but ultimately we could be losing that higher low on the loss of this. Earnings was a gap down, continue selling off. We are getting a little bit extended on that daily. Let's draw some key zones here. Okay, maybe not. So very key price action right here. And then there is potentially a key zone right here. You can also see previous resistance around this zone again and support again. So this is very much a key zone. And this is very much a key support resistance as well. So I would anticipate there to be a zone somewhere around here. Let's see how this works. Don't like it. I don't like it. It doesn't support what you could consider doing. Let's see. How does that look? Okay, so very clear resistances around here too. So that this zone will work. It's a little bit harder. This, I gotta admit, this is one of the charts that was a little bit harder to find the zones. But ultimately, it's just because of how long it has taken for the price to come back to that area. So you have to zoom a little bit further out to find the zones on this chart. Now, there could be a support resistance right here. We can see support from back here. Resistance is around here. So there, let's see if there's a reaction tomorrow. We are seeing increased bearish volume. There is no daily bull divergence either. Now, if this area is lost, okay, if this area is lost, I would say, you know, if you are in, put a stop under 43. If you are not in, be patient on it. There is no divergences to play off of. Already no divergence. 4 hours potential of a bull divergence, but we don't know yet. And the chart still looks weak. Increasing bearish volume on the daily as well. So if we were to lose this 43 area, I would be looking at this key zone down below. So I would say this is probably the money line. Support here, lost it, rejection here, broke over, became support again. So this is likely the money line over here. And from the looks of it, earnings gap down, reject from that money line again. We'll probably have to redraw this. But the chart looks weak, and unless there is a sign of bounce tomorrow, we'll likely not be touching it until we're getting down to this lower key zone over here. Right, next one is LC. I don't think we looked at this one either. So very key support resistance is very clear. Support here, wick again, support again, support again. So this is over the long term, it is a broadening wedge. We have one close over that upper trend line. Lots of resistances on it. So short term wise, we are coming up to that that previous support trend line. Support here, again, multiple supports, and then another support again. I don't like how weak the chart is. We already lost the GP, and even if we were to come back, so let's say the platinum zone, we're somewhat bouncing from the platinum zone, and we are weaker faster than most ideal. Now the good thing about it is we are seeing a bounce from that gap fill, almost gap fill, depending on how you look at it. You could say this is a gap fill. If the chart is strong, it would have to bounce from here. It's a conflicting chart because we are seeing a little bit of wick from this gap fill zone, but we are closing under that GP. Not too far extended on the daily yet, increasing bear volume. Personally, my preference, I would rather play off of this trend line over here for a bounce play. Overall, the longer term actually looks okay too. Damn. July. Wow, damn. So ever since July, what is it? 74 trading sessions, and it's ran 228%. There's potential on this chart. There is very good. Ooh, okay, that does not look that good. Let's draw some key zones from back here. If we can find any. See how that one works. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this one different, just because of the chart, the way the chart looks. You know, it's a huge drop, and now we're seeing a huge run. We're gonna be drawing the key zones on the weekly instead. So I like this. That is definitely a zone. And then what does this look like over here? So there's definitely a zone over here as well. Can see multiple supports, and then when we got into it, it became multiple rejections. Now there is a key price action right around here as well, 25.50. If we were to look higher, you could say that it's arguable that you could say that there is a key zone over here, support, lots of rejections. Lots of rejections here too. Yeah, so that would be the next one up. I just don't like how big it is. It'll be somewhere around here. Yeah, other than that, I think those are the most key areas. All-time low, double bottom, 4.32. Wow, amazing. double bottom, and then the chart started to move huge ever since 432, and you can see big movement from there. Weekly chart, it looks okay on the weekly so far, decreasing bear volume. We did lose that weekly 8, so ultimately it is weak in that sense. Daily, I still like the daily chart. I would set an alert on this. Let's where will we set this? If we're to get to the key zone, it's going to be a bit too much. We will be losing that trend line. So ultimately, the trend line would be the easy play. So tomorrow, I would set a alert right on that support. Just above that support, 36.34. Let's see if we touch it again tomorrow. I want to see a touch of this trend line for a potential bounce play. Only problem is, so at least, you know, right now there is a easy stop on this trend line. The only problem is there is a lot of downside potential to this chart. So that's LC. Next one is SE. Wow. Wait, we talked about this today. Yeah, we talked about this today. So it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. We talked about it in our 24/7 trading chat group Slack today, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topping out with a daily. There we go, with a daily bearish divergence right here. Strong daily bear divergence, seeing follow through. We're losing that money line. Lots of support from this money line. Losing that money line, we're gonna have to see whether there's follow through tomorrow. The last time we lost it, there was 1 day follow through before an immediate buy up. So if it's right now, what I'm looking at here is that 0.5. I'm gonna have to move over a little bit more here. So 0.5 around that 281, as well as this key zone over here. Big bearish volume, not too far extended. I would anticipate, you know, a little bit more downside, something that looks like this. Boom, touch for a bounce, back test this trend line, this money line, and then see what happens from there. All right, so that's SE. Next one, LSPD. Chart looks decent. Looks decent for a bounce. The very key money line zone, the money zone, was lost. But let's see. So it was lost with an immediate back test, and we're seeing further downside. There is no bullish divergence on the daily yet. We are near oversold. Potential bottom candlestick, reversal candlestick, indecision right now. Gonna need to see what tomorrow looks like. LSPD is remaining a weak chart. Let's set an alert on this. Actually, I don't even know where to set. You know, you want to probably set it like above today's high for that short term, but the long term, I want to see a break over the 66.55 where we saw previous supports. But it's not a chart that I'll be touching right now. So next one is, well, there's a lot of requested tickers today. Let's take a look at YALA. I remember looking at it today, and it actually looked pretty decent. YALA, daily trend reversal. Lower low. Not really a lower high, maybe a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And we're now seeing a daily trend reversal into daily higher high with a higher low holding that GP. So this is a must hold. I did set an alert on this upper trend line over here. Once we break over that, we'll be looking at a potential play on YALA. Next one is NIO. NIO bullish action today. Gap up with continued buying. Decent bull volume. Probably towards the end of the day, the market sell off. No, it's actually not the end of the day. So 38 was the guide, and then we're closing under the 38, partly due to the market consolidation towards the end of the day. Daily looks okay for continuation. It is one of the rare, stronger charts out there. If I were to set an alert, I would set an alert above this previous support resistance. Let's actually do that. Just under 44. Once we break that, we'll be potentially looking at a bullish entry. As of right now, the must hold is that GP. So there is a potential short-term trend line over here. All right, so that's it for the requested tickers. Next ones are the hot tickers we're going to be taking a look at. First one is Square. Very bearish chart. But we are looking at a potential bottom over here at that lower trend line from a long-term wedge that probably has to be redrawn now. This could just be a rising wedge with this part being the top trend line. So I'm not going to bother redrawing it because looking at this chart, this could very well be that top trend line. New all-time high, no follow through, coming straight back down, a huge red flag, but we are at that lower part, that lower trend line of the wedge again. With set an alert, you know, if you're in the trade, set an alert, stop would be below today's low. If you're not in the trade, easy stop below today's low. Not seeing a reversal potential yet though. No bullish divergence. Keeping an eye on this chart. Let's move. I do have an alert on this. Let's move. Let's move the alert lower. Somewhere over here. If we break bull over that line, or we can see supports within here, supports again, more supports, another support, and resistance, and another support. So that what do I have it? 223.76. If that were to break bullish, then we'll be looking at this chart. All right. So next one is coin. Is this a 4-hour head and shoulders? Yes, this could very well be a 4 hours head and shoulders. So let's take a look at this. Left shoulders, head, right shoulders. The neckline is right here that we broke bearish now, and we are trading under that short-term key trend line. Multiple supports over here. Broke down under, broke over, immediate back test, supports, double support again, immediate back test, and then ran and then came back to back test again. So this is a very key trend line, and now we're seeing a loss over it with an immediate back test again on it. Based on the chart, would anticipate further downside to come. Already not oversold. 30-minute reaching oversold. So if we're to make a new low, there's potential that we're going to see a bullish divergence, but I would anticipate further downside first into that lower part of the key zone first. See what that looks like. You know, it's going to be something like this before a back test. So there is bounce opportunities within the chart, but just going to have to see where that's coming in at and how strong it is. So this can be redrawn. Not redrawn. 0.5. No. So we are right at that 0.382 right now. 0.5. 0.5 would have some support resistance as well. Rejection here, support here. So that might actually make sense. Let's draw a line over there. Yeah, 294, most ideal first entry, 0.5 kind of thing. Next one is CAR. So CAR and BBBY relatively strong, except the end of the day saw off. Increasing bull volume on CAR, holding that to 88. Yeah, can't really use fibs on this just because of how much the chart had ran from that share buyback news. But ultimately, the chart is looking strong to me, and loss at 88, no follow through, continue going up, like the chart. Already, it looks like it needs market cooperation, but ultimately the chart was making higher high until getting shut down. So there is a very key resistance right here, 315.05. Slight rejection, key rejection, going down below the hourly 8. CAR will remain on top watch. Next one is BBBY. And with BBBY, a very similar idea. But the chart looks a lot stronger versus CAR because we never lost that 88. Huge pullback, gap up, huge gap up, huge sell off, and then it held. It never lost at 0.382. or sorry, this is a 0.5. What a strong chart. Key resistance right now. Why is there a blue line in there? Where's this blue line coming from? Oh, after hours. Okay. So we are right at the resistance right now, 2403. We're going to need to see a close over it to confirm further bullish action. But right now it is slight increasing bull volume. I'm loving the chart. As long as that 88 is not lost, there's no cause for concern. Right, and then last but not least, what we're going to be looking at is our BLX. Our BLX, huge bearish engulfing candlestick with bearish volume coming in. This is a big red flag. I would anticipate at the very minimum a back test of this previous high at 103. Let's see what the next day follow through looks like. There is no bearish divergence on the daily yet, so we could see a reversal into new high before coming back down. RBLX, and that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, thank you for subscribing, watching, and sharing our videos. If you know anyone that could potentially benefit from the content we share, please consider sharing our channel with them. As well, huge shout out to Darren for joining, giving our trial a try. I'm very happy that you have made your not even spent money back, you know, and thank you for joining us. Also, quick reminder, 250 subs. There will be some giveaways coming up. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys. I will see you in the next video.